Rochelle, good morning. Okay, Rochelle, I just, there you go. And I'm going to start the video here. Actually, you're all set. Morning, Rochelle.
Good morning.
Morning. Hi, everybody. So just so everybody knows, we moved to individual meeting IDs, and I forgot to send it to our instructor. Doesn't work out very well, does it? So we're a few minutes past. I think anyone who wanted to catch up had enough time, so it's all yours. Hopefully everything's not all wet over there. But
a little bit, but it's manageable.
Okay, I was on a mopping mission this morning.
Oh no, I'd rather you clean, honestly. All right, you guys. Hi. Happy Sunday morning. I can't see all the comments, but I did see Heather. So hi, Heather, and hi, everybody else. So welcome to Restore Sunday morning. What you're going to need today, obviously your mat, anything that you can use in place of a TheraBand. So a towel, a blanket, yoga belt, robe belt, anything that you're just going to be able basically to use that to open up the muscles in your legs. And then also I would suggest if you have a foam roller, grab that. If you don't, then you're going to use a towel or a blanket and pull that up because we're going to do some opening through our sacrum today. Sound okay? All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's start down on our mat, and let's just start with a simple cat-cow stretch, just to wake up our spine and get ourselves ready to move. So I'm gonna come down onto my 4-point kneeling position. Hands are underneath my shoulders, knees are underneath my hips, fingers are spread. I'm gonna take a deep breath, and I'm gonna exhale, push out of the shoulders, round that spine, let my head hang heavy, send that breath right into the back of your spine, and then lengthen that back out. And what I want you to do is just kind of lift that chest a little bit. So we're really kind of overarching here. So we get that nice opposition between that arching and that rounded position. And here we go again. Exhale, push out of the shoulders, rounding that spine. Head drops heavy, deep breath. Lengthen that back out. And think of pulling your chest forward. And as I do this, I'm getting this like oppositional kind of tension through my arms. And I don't know if you can see my triceps activate a little bit. And I feel this stretch down even in through my low abs. Once more, exhale, rounding. Tuck that tail a little bit, maybe come halfway back. And then lengthen that back out. And here we go into that arch, pulling that chest forward. And then let's bring your toes together, knees apart, sit back onto your heels, and let's go into a shell stretch. Deep breath, just let yourself melt into that mat. And let's stretch our side bodies. So walk your hands over to the far right. Pressing that left hip down a little bit. And then walk your hands over to the far left. Pressing that right hip down a little bit. And then walk your fingers back in toward the center. And go ahead and stack through that spine. One vertebra at a time. Good. All right, so I'm gonna take it down onto the mat. Today, I'm gonna opt to use the foam roller as a pillow, but you could use anything that you have at home, towel, pillow, blanket. If you need some extra support underneath your head, go ahead and use that. All right, so I'm gonna lay down here. We're gonna open up our hips. So how many of you are feeling like your hips are really tight right now from anxiety, tension, and from being seated a lot more than maybe is typical even when you're working your day job? I know that I feel like I have been. So this is a hip, it's called a hip release. My hands are gonna be down by my side. And I used this analogy last week, I believe, where we talked about the scale. So I want you to pretend that your glutes and your hips, they're on a scale, and you want to try to keep that as balanced as possible. You've got your Zingerman's latte on your low abs. Don't spill it. All right, so from here, I'm gonna inhale, I'm gonna let this right knee open away from me, trying not to unbalance my scale, right? And then I'm gonna exhale, extend that right leg long, and I'm really reaching it away from me, decompressing through that hip and a little bit into my quad. And then I'm gonna rotate that knee toward my center line. So my knee was laterally rotated, it was pointing away from my body, and now I'm rotating it closer toward my midline, and I'm gonna drag that heel right back into where I started. Let's do that again. Inhale, let that right knee fall away, don't tip your scale. Extend that leg, really reach it away. Rotate towards your center line. Drag that all the way back in. Now try to keep your foot connected to the floor as you're doing this movement, because if you let your leg or your foot lift up, then you're asking the hip extensors and your hip flexors to do more work than is necessary, and we're trying to get that particular area to relax. So let's do that once more, and then we're going to reverse the direction. So I'm going to inhale, let that right knee fall away. Exhale, reach it long, rotate toward my midline, and drag that back in. So the reverse of that, I'm gonna let that knee fall across my body. So I'm rotating toward my midline, extending that leg long, rolling that knee away from me, dragging that back in. Inhale, rotate that knee toward my midline, extend that leg long, rotate that knee away from me, drag that back in. Once more, rotate toward my midline, don't tip your scale. Rotate that knee away from you, and drag that all the way back in. And hopefully that feels good, and you can feel that decompression a little bit through the hips. I am gonna flip sides just so you can watch the line of my leg as it moves, but feel free to stay where you're at and just switch legs. All right, so for this next one, it's gonna be my left leg. So keep that scale balanced. Inhale, let that left knee fall away, and I kind of feel that this side is tighter. Reach that long, rotate toward your center line, drag that back in. Inhale, let that left knee fall away, extend, rotate toward that center line, drag that back in once more. Reverse that. Rotate towards your center line, extend, let that knee fall open, drag that back in, don't spill your latte, rotate across the center line, extend, let that knee fall to the side, drag that back in, use your low abs. Once more, inhale, rotate across the center line, extend, let that knee fall open, and then go ahead and drag that back in. Doesn't that feel good? All right, So if you have something underneath your head, go ahead and move that to the side because we're going to go into our bridge work next. And we don't want anything to be compressing onto our cervical spine. That's not going to feel great. All right, so my feet are about hip distance apart. Arms are reaching long, and I want you to think of really reaching through your fingertips and rolling those shoulders back so that we're also opening up through our collarbone. And I want you to just rock your pelvis before we go into that bridge. Remember, for restore, we're really slowing things down. And it's not about the quantity of the movement, it's about the quality. So just rocking that tailbone, tipping that pelvis forward and back, just to loosen up the sacrum and into that low back. And now let's go ahead and go into that bridge. So hopefully that low back is a little looser so we can get a little bit more articulation. Take a deep breath. Knit those ribs down. Soften through that sternum. Take that all the way down. Let that tailbone drop heavy. And again, exhale. Pull those ribs down. Bridging those hips up. And remember that your fourth or fifth one is going to look different than your first one. So have patience. Stick with it. Sometimes our bodies need a few reps for it to get caught up with what we're asking it to do. Tailbone release is heavy. Take another deep breath. Use that exhale, squeezing those glutes as you peel that spine up off of your mat. Opening up through the front of the hips, keeping those ribs down. Take another inhale. Exhale, soften that sternum. Reach that tailbone a little longer away from you. Tailbone release is heavy. And let's do that twice more. Exhale, tilting the hips, squeezing those glutes as you bridge up. Squeeze those glutes, lift a little higher, open up through the front of the hips. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take that all the way back down. Tailbone releases, and let's do that once more. Exhale, ribs pull down, squeezing those glutes. Pause here, let's engage those glutes a little bit more. Little tiny pulses, lifting up an inch, down an inch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath and exhale. Roll that all the way down. Let that tailbone drop heavy. I don't know about you, but my spine feels a lot happier now. So let's let those knees kind of roll side to side. And let's go into a figure 4 stretch. So take that, I'm taking my left knee over, or my left ankle over my right knee. I'm gonna let that knee open. And then I'm gonna roll up and I'm gonna grab behind that right thigh. I'm gonna pull that in toward me. So if you need to, you could grab your cushion and put that underneath your head for a little extra support, especially if your hamstrings and your glutes are so tight that your head, if you feel like you're in this position to be able to get that stretch, then by all means have something propped underneath your head. If you can't grab your thigh completely, grab the seams of your leggings and pull that in. That's a trick that I used to use in my men's class. I would have them grab the seams on their shorts or their sweatpants and pull that in, and it helps to open up that stretch. So just another tip, pro tip for you. And then go ahead and release, and let's switch sides. So I've got my right ankle over my left knee, and then I'm gonna pull that left thigh in toward my chest, keeping that right knee open as I do. Couple more deep breaths. Good. And then go ahead and release. All right, so let's go into a spinal rotation, and then we're going to go into a little bit of some core work. So if you don't want to use a pillow, use your bottom arm to prop your head. I am going to use my foam roller today. So I'm going to have my hips stacked, my knees bent, and I'm reaching both arms long, unless you're using that bottom arm to kind of cradle your head and neck. I'm going to reach that top arm up toward the ceiling, and I'm going to pause when I'm looking over, that hand is up toward the ceiling. I'm going to keep my eyes on my hand, drop that shoulder down, keep those hips stacked, and I'm going to rotate from my waistline toward the back of the room. Take a deep breath. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Take another inhale. Draw those abs in. Exhale, sweep that arm up. And then over in front of you. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach that arm up. Shoulder drops down. Exhale, twist from that waistline. Take an inhale. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Take another inhale, and exhale. Engage those abs as you reach that arm up and over. And let's do that again, but we're gonna extend our leg. So inhale, reach that arm up, shoulder drops down. Exhale, as you rotate, extend that top leg, flex that foot. Take an inhale, exhale, sink a little deeper. Engage those abdominals as you reach that arm up, bending that knee, and then crossing over. Good. All right, let's go ahead and do that on the other side. And again, I'm just gonna flip over because I think that it's easier visual cue if I'm facing you this way. All right. Hips are stacked, knees are bent. Arm reaches along. Inhale, reach that top arm up. Look up toward the ceiling. Keep your eyes on your hand. Shoulder drops down. Exhale, twist. Take an inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper. Abs pull in. Sweep that arm up and over. Here we go again. Inhale, reach that arm up. Shoulder drops down. Exhale. Twist, take an inhale, exhale, sink a little deeper, abs pull in as you reach that arm up and over. Once more with the leg extension. Inhale, reach that arm up, shoulder drops down, extend that leg, twist from that waistline, pause, take an inhale, exhale, sink a little deeper. Take a deep breath. Abs pull in. Sweep that arm up and over. Good. Oh, I love it when we finish an exercise and it's perfectly in time with the end of the song. You guys know that's my jam. I didn't even plan that. All right, go ahead and lay down on your back and let's get those abdominals to fire a little bit deeper. So for this one, if you need to, you can prop your head with your towel or your cushion. Remember that as we're doing our roll up, you could grab the ends of your mat and use that to cradle your neck. All right, feet are planted, hip distance apart, arms reach long. Roll those shoulders back so that we're not starting in this closed-in position. Inhale, nod the chin. Exhale, use those abdominals to roll your head, neck, and shoulders up. Take a deep breath. and exhale to roll that back down. Alternatively, you could also put something between your knees so that you get a little more engagement through your inner thighs. Inhale, nod the chin. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders roll up. Inhale to stay. And exhale to roll that back down. Inhale, nod the chin. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders roll up. Take a deep breath. And exhale to roll that back down. Let's do 3 more. Nodding the chin. Exhale. Head, neck, and shoulders roll up. Take an inhale. Exhale to lower that down. Inhale to nod. Exhale to roll up. Take a deep breath. Exhale to lower that back down. Last time, nod the chin. Exhale. Head, neck, and shoulders roll up. You could always take your hands behind your head if you need to. Here we go. Little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just isometric hold here. Engage those abdominals, drop that shoulder, collarbone stays open, hold 5, 4, keep your eyes on your thighs, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and roll that down. Maybe let your head rock side to side. Good. All right, let's take our hands behind our head. Elbows stay wide. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Roll that up. Extend that right leg long. Pull that back in as you come back down. Exhale. Coming up, extend that left leg long. And inhale to drag that back in. Couple more. Exhale. Extend that right leg long as you come up. Pull that back in as you lower down. Switching legs as you crunch up. And do you feel how that kind of deepens that engagement? Keep moving. Once more each side. Try to keep those elbows wide. Good work, you guys. Let those knees fall side to side. Let's keep our hands behind our head. Unless your neck is feeling great, then have your arms long by your side as we lift up. But if you're feeling tight through your neck and you're feeling too much strain, then I want you to follow my lead and keep your hands behind your head, okay? So let's find that imprinted spine. Ribs pull down. Float both legs to a tabletop. Nod your chin. Roll your head, neck, and shoulders up. And I want you to reach that right leg long. Inhale to pull that back in. Exhale. Left leg reaches long. Inhale to pull that back in. So if your arms are extended, you can hold them here, or you can tap your knees. So a couple of options for you guys. Pointing through those toes. Once more each side. Put those knees in. Rock that side to side. And we're going to finish this section with our hundreds. So a couple of options for you. I'm going to go ahead and sit up. You can keep your head down if you'd like. So if you're having strain through the back of your neck, keep your head down, but both legs in a tabletop. If your neck isn't an issue, or you want to support your neck with your hands, but you're feeling some compression through your low back because we're working on stamina and endurance through those abdominals, then you're going to lift your head up and you're going to keep your feet down, okay? Or you're going to lift them all together. All right, so find that modification that works best for you. I'm going to go into more of our traditional hundreds position. So I'm imprinted through the spine. So remember, if your low back is bothering you, then this is where you're going to live, or you can take both hands behind your head. If your neck is bothering you, head's going to stay down, legs are going to float up to tabletop, you're going to pump your arms, and this is where you're going to live. For the rest of you, nod your chin, roll your head, neck, and shoulders up, and here we go. Breathing in, out, in, out, in, you can do a nice long breath or staggered. If you're ready for it, go ahead, extend your legs. That's that. Lift up a little bit higher if you can, and then hold those knees close in and rock side to side. Hopefully that made sense. I'm trying to find the best way to cue that breath while I demonstrate it for you. If you have suggestions, please leave them. I'm always open for that. All right, let's go ahead and roll up, and let's go ahead and lay down onto our bellies, and let's get your spine to open up a little bit. So I'm gonna start with arms in that goal post position. I really do love this series of exercises because it's a relatively simple range of motion, but it really is so effective toward strengthening our back muscles, which especially right now, we need to keep strong. Strong core, strong bellies, strong backs, strong bums. That's gonna help us get through all of this. All right, forehead is down. Belly button pulls in, my glutes are engaged. I'm in my goal post position with my elbows bent, hands flat onto the floor. I'm gonna inhale, lengthen through the back of the neck, squeeze my glutes a little bit tighter as I pull my chest forward, and I come up a little bit of extension. So my bottom rib is still on the mat. We're gonna work our way into a bigger range of motion. Inhale to lower that back down. Inhale, lengthen through the back of the neck. Exhale, floating that chest up, draw that belly button up, squeeze those glutes, and then take that all the way back down. Twice more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, pull that chest forward as you float up. And take that all the way back down. Once more, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, floating up, and this time I want you to hover your hands and your arms off the floor, squeeze those glutes, take a deep breath. Exhale to lower that back down. Our arms are gonna come with us. Inhale, lengthen, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower that down. Twice more. Keep your toes down. Last time, and let's stay there. Lift, hold, 5, 4, 3, keep that long line through the back of the neck, 2, 1, and go ahead and set that all the way back down. So we're gonna try a new movement. I call this the scorpion, the movement, not the band. So you're gonna take your arms out to a T, palms are flat onto your mat. And I'm gonna start with my right cheek down. I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna take this left foot, that left leg, I'm gonna lift that up. And I'm gonna tap that over to the side. Bring that back in. And then I'm gonna switch my gaze and then tap that right foot over to the side. So if your low back feels like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna have that much range of motion, then you don't have to tap your foot all the way down to the floor. That bent, keeping both knees bent is gonna help protect that low back. Otherwise, I want you to extend the opposite leg as we're rolling side to side. All right, here we go. Let's do a few more. So I've got my right cheek down. I'm gonna bend my left knee, and I'm gonna let that tap to the side, bring that back in, and then switch. Once more each side. And we go ahead and push back into a shell stretch. Perfect, good. All right, so let's do a little bit of some plank work. Keep your hands underneath your shoulders, fingertips are spread. If you need to, come down onto your forearms, or remember you could use something to prop, so you could do this off the edge of a very sturdy chair. Find what works for you. Shoulders roll back, take a deep breath, and let's go ahead and extend one leg at a time. Pulling those ribs together, squeezing those glutes, pushing out of the shoulders. You could also come up onto your fists if you need to. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let those knees come down. Roll your wrists out. Good. Let's come back to that 4-point kneeling position. Remember, come up onto your fists or roll your mat up for a little extra cushion if you need it. And I'm going to take my left leg. I'm going to reach that long. Exhale. Lift that up just to about the level of my hip. Set that down. Pull that back in. Right leg reaches long. Exhale. Lift. Set that down. And pull that back in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Set that down. Pull that back in. Once more, inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Toes tap down and bring that back in. So I'm going to go more onto a diagonal because I have this little wall built here, which I will explain in a moment. But we're going to add our arms onto that movement. So hopefully you guys can still see me. So I am going to reach my left leg long and my right arm long. Exhale, they're both going to lift together. So working on balance and coordination here. Toes and fingers tap down, then pull that back in. And I have my hands a little too far out, so we want to keep those hands underneath our shoulders. Inhale, that right leg reaches long, left arm reaches long. Exhale, lift. Tap that down. Pull that back in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Toes and fingers tap down. Pull that back in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Toes and fingers tap down. Bring that back in. Once more each side, you guys. I want you to hold that here. Try to keep that pelvis steady. And just hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingers and toes tap down. Pull that back in. Once more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Draw those abs in. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Toes and fingers tap down. Bring that back in. Go ahead and sit back onto your heels. All right, great work, you guys. So I want to open up those muscles a little bit deeper. So this is where you're going to use your pillow, your folded towel, blanket, or if you have a foam roller, then go ahead and grab that. Anything that's going to be able to lift your hips. So basically what we're going to do, I'm going to lay down and I'm going to have my foam roller right underneath my low back and my hips. So if you've got your pillow, you just want to keep that like right underneath that low back because we are going to open up through our hips. So I'm just going to let my hands rest on either side of my foam roller so that I don't feel it kind of shooting out from underneath me. And if you have a small roller, you can still do this. This is a great stretch to do with one of those smaller rollers. So all I'm going to do is just reach both my legs long. If that pulls too much onto your low back, then bend one knee, hold that for 10 seconds, and then switch, okay? So we're gonna stay here for 20 seconds and just breathe. If you're bending one knee, now is when you would switch sides. Connect to that breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I want you to keep your left leg long. Pull that right knee in toward your chest. And if you need to, you could grab behind your thigh, use that legging trick again, right? Or use your TheraBand, your yoga belt, whatever, and use that behind the thigh to help pull that in. So I'm keeping that left leg reaching long, and I can really feel how that opens up. This is where we're getting into that psoas. So this is like our Eve's lunge on our reformer. It's not going to be quite as dynamic as that stretches, but you should feel how that opens that up. Maybe flex the heel of that left leg and feel how that opens that up even deeper. And then we're just gonna tick-tock, so we're sweeping that heel across the body and away. Keep your heel heavy on your mat or your floor. Ooh. Once more. Go ahead and switch sides. Does that feel really delicious for anybody else? Because it feels really good for me. All right, keep the right leg long. You're gonna pull that left knee in toward your chest. Let that melt open. And let's take that right heel, flex that, really extend that leg a little bit longer, decompressing through that psoas a little deeper. And here's that tick-tock. And this side feels tighter to me, so just acknowledge that. Just acknowledge it. Don't judge it. Just know if one side is tighter than the other. And maybe throughout the week, throughout your day today, see if you can notice that and try to even it out a little bit. Once more. And then go ahead and pull both knees in toward your chest. Now you can set your feet down, or you can extend your legs and use your abs to let your back come down, and then pull those knees in and rock side to side a little bit deeper. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our band. We're almost done, you guys. Thanks so much for spending your Sunday morning with me. So whatever you're using, towel, blanket, yoga belt, robe belt, regular belt, just make sure that you're able to hold on to it so you can really open up through the back of the legs. So we're gonna do a couple of stretches using that, and then we're gonna end with a wall stretch. This is a stretch that I haven't, for whatever reason, I haven't done it in probably a couple of years. And I went for a really long run yesterday. I was out for like 2.5 hours, just because it felt good to be out in the sunshine. And when I came back, for whatever reason, I did this wall stretch, and my legs and my back felt so much better. And so I thought that we would try to simulate that here together. So just know we're going to stretch the legs, and then maybe move toward a wall where you're going to have enough room to lay down with your feet kind of fully extended along the wall. FYI, foreshadowing. All right, so you're going to lay down. I'm going to put my right foot into that band. If your hips are still really tight, keep that opposite leg bent, or extend that long if you feel like, okay, I've got enough range of motion and it's not pulling too much. Try to keep your elbows down, but I do know if you're not working with something that has this much give, then you might have to have your arms extended. Whatever position, just try to really find that point where you're getting a deep stretch. So I'm pulling into my band, and I'm pulling my toes a little closer toward the nose. And I want you to bend that right knee. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. Once more. Keep that leg long, foot is flexed. And let's keep that right hip down, but take that leg across the body, just an inch or two. Maybe rotate that foot so that your big toe is kind of pressing away from you. That pinky toe is pointing closer toward this right shoulder, which we're trying to keep down. Bend that knee and extend on that diagonal. Inhale, bend. Exhale, extend. 2 more. And then go ahead and let your leg fall open to the side, keeping it supported with whatever band you're using. Trying to keep that left hip down. Bring that back up through the center. One more little. Encouraging that leg to come a little bit closer toward you. And then let's switch sides. So I'm going to put my left foot into the band. Remember, you can keep that right knee bent, or you could extend that long, flexing that foot, and pulling that a little bit closer. And I can feel this left leg way tighter than my right. Use that breath. Think of those muscles melting. They're just melting open here. Bend that knee. That helps to get us out of that nervy feeling that we can get into some of these stretches. Twice more. Last time. Go ahead and take that across the body. Whew. Try to keep your faces relaxed. So I'm tighter on this side, so I automatically wanted to wince. Remember, it takes more muscles to frown, so try to keep your faces relaxed. Here we go. Bend. Extend. Bend. Extend. Once more. Good. Let's take that out to the side. Keep that right hip down. Just letting the weight of your leg rest into whatever band you're using. And pull that leg back up. And we're a little encouraging that leg to come a little closer to you. Bend that knee. And then go ahead and sit up. All right, so we're gonna end today with our wall stretch. So you could take something soft. Do not use your foam roller for this because it is not gonna feel great. But you could use a cushion, or you could roll up your towel or your blanket and put that underneath your low back if you want a little bit more decompression through the spine. So I'm gonna move my way over to my wall here. You wanna get real close to that wall. So you're gonna have your glutes right up against that wall. You're gonna extend your legs and flex your feet and let your arms come out to the side. And just breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Really flex those feet. And then start letting them kind of sway side to side. Try to keep your hips down when you do this, so you're controlling that more through the abdominals. Just feel how that starts to open up a little bit into that IT band. Once more each side. Come back in through the center, really flexing those feet. Good work, you guys. So you might want to stay there for another couple minutes because it does feel really good. So I'm going to just kind of wrap things up here. I really appreciate you guys spending your Sunday morning with us and you know, supporting all of the classes that we've had on the schedule. It's nice to see Carrie this morning. So I hope you guys have a really great rest of your day. Lynn will be back tomorrow, I think at 11:30, and then I'll be back tomorrow night at 5:30, and we'll do another bar class. So have a good day, you guys.
Awesome class, Rochelle. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the Sunday.